I am smiling.
And welcome to episode 143 of Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. This is the end of the year. The last
you're wrong number, Jack.
143?
We're not 143.
What number are we?
153.
153. Sorry. I knew there was a 1. I knew there was a 3. Everything else is gravy underneath the bridge. And with that gravy is some mashed potatoes and some ham and some stuffing and all that other good stuff. But before we get any further, I'm Jack with my fellow host of
Brian,
Duncan,
John,
and Dave. So, with that being said, we have a retrospective episode going for you, looking back on what has came to pass and what will come to pass and all that good stuff. We're going to be visited by 3 specters on an ethereal plane this fine afternoon. But before we get there, let's do a quick station identification.
Do you love resin bases? Then go to our sponsor, Elric Hobbies, for all of your basing and basing accessory needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a discount. Legendary Monument Hobbies. Monument Hobbies is a one-stop shop for all of your painting needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a 5% discount on your purchase. Pop Goes the Monkey. Find maker of third-party accessory bits of arms, legs, backpacks, and more, where you can get 10% off your first order over $125 with code HERESYABB at checkout.
Quick station identification. And thank you to our patrons. Without you, Duncan would not be building Ultramarines Army. Also, Duncan just posted the latest Patrons episode. And while I'm not saying it's a banger, I am saying it does have information in it that you may want to jump on right meow.
And unlike most of our monthly Patreon episodes, this one is for all patrons, paid and unpaid.
So go there right meow. Well, not right meow. Finish this, then go right meow. You know what I mean.
Pause this, then go there, meow.
Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Make sure the bell icon rings. I can't even do that with a straight face.
Type the episode if you're on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing? I heard that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's so many things that are things that I don't know what they are.
Yeah, hit that like button with a thunder hammer. God, save us with your hobby progress.
All right. So during the week, I managed to get a whole bunch more supplies built, painted, ready for kind of basing and using in other different ways. Came up with a bunch of different things as cleaning up, and found a whole bunch of propane tanks and gas canisters and stacks of ammo and crates and blah, blah, blah. And got those primed and painted up. Found the old guac bowls that I'd built a while ago and got those, got their walkways glued to them, got them glued down and got them primed. Managed to find, I had Jeremy build me a big tank factory out of MDF that I'd had laying around, and tried to glue it to a base because the bottom of that's pretty thin. It was trying to bend every time I picked it up, so I decided to glue it to some wood. And because it's such a wonky building, I had to go with the American way of using a crap ton of ammo to make sure it didn't shift around while I was gluing it down.
So violently American.
Violently American, yeah. It works great for weight. If you need to weight something down, 45 ACP and 308 does it really well. I also found on AliExpress a really cool sci-fi barbarian lord bust. I built that and glued that together to use for some terrain pieces. And then my folks came over today to help me with some terrain stuff. So they went through and Mom put some sand down on the guac bowl terrain. My dad built a couple of supply caches. And then I started working on the Imperator Titan giveaway table that we're coming up for Adepticon. And everyone that's going to Texas Open is going to be able to play on this table a little early. I also managed to get a couple other things done. So the worst thing during the week last night was after my event, I decided to come home because we had our monthly gaming event at the hotel since Dallas Games Marathon is still doing its thing. I wanted to do some airbrushing before my parents came over. And so, y'all know I have that water-backed airbrush booth. So it kind of keeps all the overspray out of the air. And so it looked like the water tank was low. So I started filling it using my drill siphon that kind of sucks water out of a bucket and shoves it into the airbrush booth. And noticed the water level wasn't really moving as I kept pumping water in there. And then water started spilling out the back of the desk and then started seeping out from around different corners. It turns out that those water airbrush booths, they say that you should clean the base of that every month. And I never cleaned it since I installed it last May of 2024. And so I had a giant mess on my hands. Got that whole thing disassembled and thrown into my bathtub where I proceeded to clean it. I think one of the funniest comments I had, I posted on one of the chats, and the guy said, COVID didn't come from a lab. It came from the bottom of that airbrush booth. It was disgusting. It was very slimy. Yeah, but that's all cleaned up. Didn't start a house fire because when I relaid out my desk, when I put the airbrush booth in, I decided what happens if this thing overflows one day, and I moved all of the power strips and power plugs away from the airbrush booth. The only thing that's kind of nearby is my internet router, because that's forced on me by the company, and so that's kind of nearby. But luckily, it didn't get any near anywhere getting wet. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, apart from the event, which I'll talk about when we go past this into event stuff we've done. What about Brian?
Technical difficulties. Mute buttons are hard. Brian got a wonderful care package in the form of a Secret Santa gift from a not-so-secret Santa of Jack. And that contained one large tank of epic proportions. So Brian worked on building that and got it probably 80% built before he encountered some minor issues that I think we have resolved. He also dug out some more other infantry bits and whatnot for the wife's army and the oldest son's army. And that is about the extent of my hobby progress. What about you, Jack?
Oh, I participated in Secret Santa and then kicked her over to Duncan.
So I participated in the Secret Santa, and I want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who did participate in the Secret Santa as well. And I worked on 2 more Night Lords tanks. I worked on more stuff behind the scenes, and I ambushed Jack. The end.
Yep, I also participated in Secret Santa. I want to thank everyone that participated, especially Trevor. He gave me a really cool gift of some Necromunda terrain and a Guilliman that will be used for many things. I've actually been thinking about buying another Guilliman, so it really came in handy. Before we jump into news, I guess I'll talk about the event. So yeah, we had our monthly event. Usually it's 2 games held in this hotel. I used it as a time to kind of play test some of the Texas Open missions that I'm going to be running and found a couple of little typos that we need to fix. But otherwise, everyone had a good amount of fun. We had 7 guys show up. So I played as the ringer for the first round. We had somebody jump out because they had to run off for some family events. And I used Knights again. I can definitely say, pretty much reaffirmed everything I've been saying about Knights as before. Just the number of units you have versus the amount of damage you end up having to do. The Asterius came into its own. In one turn, it managed to kill a Dorito by missing with its conversion beamer. And then blew it off the table because that thing has damage 8 on the conversion beamers at the longest range. And other rounds it killed rhinos and almost an entire squad of infantry in one shot, it is definitely a breadwinner. Whereas the other knights were just kind of there and were being pulled off the table by being charged by tactical marines with crack grenades and things like that. So, game ended up 45-17, or no, 21 in my opponent's favor, just because line and the fact that knights really don't have that much scoring apart from the armigers, and they just score, they don't have line. So opponent was kind of able to run away with that, even with the vows kind of coming in a little clutch, and a few times I was able to pull that off in a few areas. But when one of the guys has to score Vanguard first and he can't kill anything, it kind of sucks. Versus the because you can take a Vanguard vow, you can take a first strike vow, and I gave the first strike vow to the Asterius, which he handily took, and then wasn't able to get the Vanguard vow off on the other night. I charged the Lancer into a Mastodon, and it was almost able to kill it, but because he's weapon skill 4, he misses a lot, and so kind of getting tied up and bogged down by a bunch of basic Marines was really bad, but it was fun, and I really enjoyed the event, and looking forward to seeing what 2026 will bring us, because I think it's time that we finally parted ways with Dallas Games Marathon, since there doesn't seem to be a plan for the future. So watch this space for upcoming ideas. I talked about it a little bit in the Patreon episode that we're going to be moving to bi-monthly major events, and so it looks like we'll be having February's events. We're still kind of trying to narrow it down, but it looks like it might be at Crimson Lion Games. Still kind of in talks about that to finalize everything, but I will definitely come out with more as we know more.
I would like to add that Jack left out a very key and critical part of his hobby progress. He's secured the spaceship USS Enterprise. That is all.
That is also true. And very happy. So that takes us to the news?
The news. Let me find out where Discord went. All right. So, like we said last time, there was no new releases this week, so we're going straight into what's coming next week. And next week, we're back on the Heresy train, boys. So we're finally getting the plastic breachers. We'll go over this in the news, but these boys were announced back in January of 2025, and we're finally getting them in January of 2026. So the first release in the new year is going to be the Siege Assault Battle Group. We've got 10 breachers, we've got 12 cataphracti, and a dumpy little Leviathan Dreadnought. No one takes these guys anymore.
Dumpy Leviathan.
I want to like them.
Well, from a model standpoint, you could always go to, and let me double check the name of it, but there's a Liber Demonica has great add-ons to plastic Leviathans to make them Legion specific, and they're really
Forges of All has and Forges of All has some add-ons too, as well as seamless intakes for the exhaust vents and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, it sucks that Dreadnoughts have been whacked back with that Nerf bat since they were too good in second.
3 good swat.
Yeah, we saw during the week a leak of a bunch of sprue pictures for the Cataphractic Terminators along with the Breachers. I'm not going to show it because they're leaks, but I'm a little worried about the way that the Cataphractic Terminators go together. As we've seen, there's Paterges built into the underpad on the Cataphracti. So the Cataphracti have, as anyone that's built them knows, they have layered shoulder pads. So they've got an underpad and kind of a top over pad. In the current Cataphracti Terminators, the Paterges are molded into the arm. And the way the new ones work is there's 3 Paterges in the front that are on the underpad that is split into 2 pieces. There's 3 Paterges on the rear pad and the rear of the model that are on the underpad, and there's 3 Paterges that are molded into the arm. So it looks like there's not going to be a ton of posability as far as arm movement goes in these new Cataphracti Terminators unless you want to move the entire shoulder pad. So it's definitely going to cut down a lot of the conversions that are possible. We've also seen, since these models are getting out to people, that some people are already starting to do conversions using the old Cataphractii parts on the new Cataphractii bodies, and those don't look terrible. But I think for my part, I may be steering away from these and going with what some of the locals have been doing, which is finding Cataphractii upgrades for the current Indominus pattern Terminators that GW makes, which are really cool. Just kind of sucks that we're kind of losing a lot of the customizability and convertibility that really brought us all into Heresy for, I guess, what is more dynamic and more pretty models. We also saw on the sprues that the Volkites or combi bolters are molded into the arms themselves, and the same with the maces or power fists. They're kind of forged onto the arms, and then the sergeant has a thunder hammer or axe or sword that's on a wrist, and it kind of sucks they couldn't do that with the rest of the squad. Kind of what we were all hoping for. Go ahead.
We were all hoping for. I count myself amongst that.
Yep. We get a breakdown here of what comes on the breacher squads. So it looks like it's going to be like we thought, just a sprue with 10 boarding shields, 10 helmeted heads, 2 sergeant heads, 1 helmeted, 1 bear, a breaching charge, a last cutter, a graviton gun, 10 bolters, 10 left arms, 10 right arms, and 10 holding hands for the breacher shield itself. So the shield's going to be a completely separate piece without any other parts attached to it, so it's going to be nice for doing conversions and working on things. We're also bringing back all of the made-to-order terrain, so this is going to be going up on Christmas Day. You can made-to-order these pieces of terrain. Just remember that can take 3 to 6 months or longer. I've seen complaints online that the last made-to-order batches, there was some type of technical difficulty, and half the people got their stuff, and then half the people got a letter that said, hey, we don't know how long this is going to take for you to get your models. And then GW is going to be releasing on December 26th their commemorative series. So you get a Kroot or this Plague Doctor looking-esque Crow Knight guy. And that's all we're getting for the rest of the year from official GW. During the week, GW had a really cool conversion article on some of their internal guys and some people from the community using the Wicked Brick cases and building internal dioramas into them. Some pretty cool conversions. If you haven't seen the article, I really like this one with the kind of command sphere and the little boarding diorama, as well as some of the tanks. And then the degenerate inspiration with the Khorne model up to his ankles in blood. They announced how Golden Demon's going to be coming back in 2026, so if you want to get your hobby on, there is going to be a specific category just for the Heresy, so feel free to enter your models there. They've also broken it out into dioramas, duels, and option, and open is just going to be their own categories like we've had before. They're just going to be open to any models and any dioramas or duels from any game system. Whereas 40K and Age of Sigmar both get their own single model unit and large model / vehicle categories. There was also an article on some upcoming books that we're going to see in the new year for 40K for Apostle by David Annandale and a new Krieg book called The Death Riders. We're also redoing some of those cool Warhammer art through the years. This time was spotlighted on the World Eaters.
My boys.
Went back to 3rd edition and brought back the, I believe this was part of the Abaddon's Sons or whatever it was called, the one for each different Chaos God. One of the pieces that got me into 40K, the 3.0 release of the Berserkers box set art. Such a cool, evocative piece. Angron, Karn, more Karning.
I remember that one from a White Dwarf in the 2nd edition Chaos Codex. Man,
Yeah,
that was a nice piece of art.
Good old Wayne England and his ability to do black and white and still portray a lot of atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
And then ends with the Lion versus Angron.
Nice.
Joy Toy dropped a bunch of new Heresy releases. So we've got the White Scars Praetor. Comes with his cool Dow and sheathed bolt pistol. And a couple extra hand options. And a different head. We also had the Eben Keshig. So we've got the Karash 1 with Power Glaive and Karash 2 with Power Glaive. These guys have slightly different armor. And they are decked out in all their Tartaros armor with a couple hand options and the weapon that they come with stock. For Warhammer merch, they also have started dropping stuff to go with the new game releases for 2026. So we've seen Total War shirts coming out. Starforge dropped a bunch of stuff. So we've got... So first off, Jack, this isn't outrageously priced, but it is a little expensive. Go ahead.
$150 and 15 cents.
Yep. For a World Eater's Berserker Sigil. So it's just a world inside of a mashy teeth skull as a ring. It's definitely cool looking. I'll give them that. And considering this is made of silver, so it's not entirely cheap. What kind of changes it for me, though, is it's an open-backed ring, so it's completely adjustable, whereas all their other rings have been sealed on the backside, so you have to custom size it from them. In this instance, it's sizable by yourself.
I got a problem. Inside the pictures of it, it says it's 10K gold. But on the description, it says it is a silver ring with silver and copper.
What happens if you hit custom size, the one right beside it? Is the custom size the...
No, thousands of dollars. Yeah, made of silver, gold, and copper.
10K gold is the print resolution.
Oh, okay.
Good to quality, finely detailed. They also dropped the Inner Circle bottle opener.
Oh, finally.
For $30, you can get one of the little keys that you always see hanging on your Dark Angels to open your drinks for you.
See, Dark Angels do have a use.
Oh my god.
A little expensive for a bottle opener, if you ask me, but it's out there. And then they also dropped the Servo Skull leather bracelet. It is just a leather bracelet.
$130 fucking dollars for a leather bracelet.
Why I go through these is just to get Jack's reactions.
So I need to know. Was that from like wild aurochs that are like extinct? Is where they harvested that leather for it to be that expensive for a leather bracelet?
You got me, man.
Let's just go ahead and never mind. I'm not going to say that. This is a family friendly podcast.
The skull does break apart at the jaw. It looks like to be a clasp. That's a little clasp. But yeah, it is a leather bracelet. And the only thing really 40K is the clasp that is just a skull with an Inquisition symbol on it. There's no Aquillas. There's no really anything that just screams 40K on this. If you want a leather bracelet, it exists.
I'm still waiting for my medical alert bracelet.
Yeah, we still need to do that for Brian.
Oh my god.
Patrons, only you can help us get Brian's medical alert bracelet after the Ultramarines army is fulfilled. Mordian dropped some previews for a new set of tank stowage and some more of their creepy little rat people.
I like the rat people.
And then RTLW announced that they're doing a Christmas deal. So, according to them, from December 15th all the way until January 7th, for every $80 you spend, you get a free model.
Neat.
And that's really it, gentlemen. There's kind of no Kickstarters going on. There's no really bunch of nothing going on right now.
Well, we did specifically you and me missed was it Gazorpazorp? He has a weird YouTube. He did a Roman city Kickstarter.
I apologize for missing that. I saw that and then I saw the price on that and I was insanely outraged at the price of those models for STLs.
Dude, I get it. I'm right there with you, but I don't know. I may have pulled the trigger on it if I caught it when it was still live, because I can print that as many times as I want.
Yeah, if we did like a group buy on it, I might have not minded it as much, but that kind of goes against his TOS. But yeah, it was a little high for STLs.
Yeah. I was so sad when I saw it.
Go ahead.
I was so sad when I saw it. Like,
I guess I'll keep sharing as we go into the meat and taters of this episode.
Uh-oh. The meat and taters.
Yeah, so I've got all the GW articles pulled up this year for Heresy-related releases. It's not a ton. It's a pretty good bit, but it's not a ton. If anything, what you'll notice is stuff that didn't come out, especially Duncan. So yeah, starting in January right off the bat, we had the Trader Overseer come out.
Yep, he was released.
Followed by the Loyalist Herald.
So this is basically our 2025 in review, right?
Yep.
All right, cool.
It's just kind of a flashback to resin times, since everything seems to be plastic now.
We're heading that way, yeah.
Yep. Then we had the Trader console come out in January,
which I still think is a great body.
Yeah, both the consoles are really good models. I don't necessarily agree with the size of their banner for being as cool as they need to be, but I like the bodies and the way the model's set up. Then we had Jack's favorite duck, the Arvis Lighter.
Oh my god.
And then Mechanicum got some love with the Secutari Axiarch, making sure that we still have models that officially have more models coming out for these guys. And then the Akitur Magisterium, or Tech Assassin, came out in January. Finally, pushing up into February, we had the reveal of something that we still haven't seen hide nor hair of. Angron and Lotara.
We haven't seen them out yet?
No.
We have not. And I have heard through a couple people that was because this came as they were killing resin. And I've heard that they're retooling the model because it's either too big in resin because they've had some issues with fulgrim, and they're trying to do them in plastic now. Or they're trying to retool it so it'll be a little easier to mold, since they're having issues with the fulgrim mold.
If they don't re-sculpt the whole bastard from the ground up to put him out in plastic, I'm fine with it. I want him, but I want him in plastic. But I also wanted him this year. But I'm not going to complain too much.
Yep.
This one I will complain about.
And I stand by the fact that I think our Lotara, that Pop Goes the Monkey sculpted for us, is better than this Lotara.
Yes, I agree. Pop Goes the Monkey did a much better Lotara than this.
You mean our not Lotara?
Did a much better not Lotara.
Yeah.
Sci-fi ship mistress.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then we had the release of the Blood Crow for Raven Guard, finally getting some love for some named characters.
Did he drop model-wise?
Yes. Everything else is dropped, except the only two things that never came out were Lotara and Angron.
Okay.
Aster Crone came out for the Blood Angels in March. Also in March, we saw the re-release, or the new releases of the Kraknos and Krios tanks, as well as the Thanatars in plastic and the Ursarax. Then we started getting the Rapier, or the Tarantula Sentry batteries in missile and gun platform form. And then finally, coming up into May, we had the rumors and rumblings of a third edition with the release of the Rapiers. The preview of the Assault Marines Mark II Assault Marines that we finally got just a month ago.
Yep.
And then the preview of the Breachers that we're just now getting in January of 26. the rumor images of the weird Skitarii that we're about to get, as well as a custode that we still haven't seen hide nor hair of.
I forgot about that.
So did I.
And then we got a cool rapier painting article. Third edition dropped in June, so then we started getting all of the immediate FAQs and erratas. So we, out of the gate, GW kept to their word, and we got the Talons of the Emperor PDF coming out. Followed up in August by releases of everything that came out in the box set. So the Saturnine Praetor, the Centurion, Saturnine Squad, Saturnine Dreads, and all their weapons. Mark II split out disintegrator weapons. The Arachne, still looking for a home in many armies. The Drop Pod reboxing. Into August, we started getting the combat forces. So the Legions of Astartes combat force with Mark 6 Marines, the start of throwing a Leviathan into every box that we can fit them into, and a Rhino. And then Mechanicum got their force with Thalax, Castellax, and a Thanatar. And then Solarox got their box set with Las Rifle Troopers, a Command Section, Sentinels, and a Russ. Yeah, more in August, we got the Militia PDF, and everyone that loves converting crap tons of crap infantry rejoiced. Demons of the Ruin Storm came out in September. Bellblades came out in September.
Which everybody got really happy because they're finally in plastic.
Yep. Still working on mine. And then Assault Marines came out in September. Inductee rules came out in September. Black Shields dropped in October. Shattered Legions dropped in October. And that's really it. That's so all in all, 2025 has really been a lot of catching up to where we were when 2.0 died. And honestly, that's kind of how I see it right now. I see, if you rewind a year, 2.0 and 3.0 are about equal.
The one thing that didn't kind of get done on that is the two books that have also been mentioned that GW actually released coming out.
Yep, so I did miss those. I went more model heavy, but yeah, the two journals that came out, and we're still waiting on the third. Kind of an overall feel, like I just said, I feel like the game is kind of getting into stride. Like I feel like
pace is picking up. It's moving forward.
Yeah, I feel like I did at the end of 2, to be honest with you. Like the game is starting to go good. I think we need more stuff. I think we need more releases. I think we need more understanding of how terrain and a couple other things work. The other day, it was kind of brought up during our gaming session that it's really not spelled out whether or not you count as moving when you deep strike for heavy weapons purposes and a few other things. So it's kind of interesting that there's a few rules interactions that we're still kind of questioning, even though we've had a couple of FAQs drop. I do like we've already got 2 FAQs by this time, but there's still many questions that need to be answered.
I feel like 2nd edition died halfway through.
Yeah, as we were starting to get comfortable with it, it croaked.
I think you're right. 2nd edition did kind of feel that way. I feel like at this point where we are with 3rd, it's almost where we were after 2.5 years of 2nd, strangely enough. If that makes sense.
But in a healthier spot.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like all our stuff got dumped on us like, here, see you in 3 or 4 years. It feels like, hey, this is a living set of stuff and rules and an ongoing thing, and we're going to keep it that way. That's what it feels like at this point to me. Dead silence.
No, I'm just agreeing.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Jack?
Nap time.
Do I go old Gragnar and say I missed 3.5? Do I do optimistic and go 3.0 is great, or do I do realistic and go, this is the rule set we have. There's a lot to be happy about, but there are opportunities for it to improve.
I think that's kind of where we are.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to like about it. There's a lot of stuff that could be improved, tweaked, still released, still addressed moving forward. But I think that's kind of where we all are as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Like, I still don't have my head wrapped around it. Like, I haven't had time to wrap my head around it. So
that's fair. I mean, let's be honest. You and I have both not had a chance to get very much time together to game in because we've both been busy with work and life and everything else. And I respect that.
Yeah, Brian and John are the subject matter experts right now on 3.0 because they have the reps in.
They do.
They may
I'm
not
only
know
an expert in things that don't fly.
Yeah, same. Or challenge.
Oh, yay!
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, so I think that like, does anybody remember what our goals were for this year? Because I know our goals went out the window very quickly with 3.0.
Yeah, John, didn't we
Nope.
Didn't we do resolutions?
We did. I don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are?
No.
I did all the working on finding all the news that came out, man. You were going to do the resolution.
Yeah, I did all the work on posting stuff.
I did all the work on that one thing that we still need to talk more about. So this one's you all Brian. Brian, damn it, Brian. What were our resolutions last year?
Mine was I was resolved to not die, and I think I partially accomplished that.
Okay, well, you're not dead yet, so congratulations on not being dead. I'm pretty sure.
I think mine was probably to paint more Ultramarines, and technically I don't think I've finished any this year. I've done a lot of...
Oh my god.
I've done a lot of... a ton of Solar Ox and other stuff like that, but technically I worked on a lot of Ultramarines, but I don't think I've officially finished any.
So I know what two of my resolutions were. Number one, I wanted to paint that Warhound. I haven't even taken it out of the box all year long, so no, I have not done the Warhound. I will say that. I also know I wanted to get the Night Lord's army finished before the end of 2025. It's not done. I'm still working on it. I'll have it done before Adepticon. That's the best I can do.
I'm pretty sure I had finishing up what I've already started, along with, I think my next step was working on Custodes, because for second edition, that's this where I was at with the armies that I already had done and them not working in second edition. And then that turned into a stretch goal of a lot of
2026.
Adepticon 2026 before third dropped, and getting at a really exciting display board and army done. That then got turned on its head as we wrapped our brains around a new edition and the news of what you can and can't do in third ed. As like a podcast as a whole, let me pull up a couple of things as my computer just literally loses its mind right now. There we go. For a podcast, we grew, not for us being a niche of a niche, we grew probably, I want to say 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We have, watch hours and all that good stuff like that. That's very, for something like us is very subjective. But watch hours continue to increase. I know I was laughing, make joking about that like and subscribe stuff, but like, those are all metrics that, pushes us in front of other people that are looking for this type of stuff. And that's all grown this year. As far as the audio version of the podcast, it just logged me out. Of course, it just logged me out. So I'm going to sit here and vamp for a brief second, for this. Like, our downloads or views per episode has roughly stayed the same across the board, which means people aren't getting tired of us.
If they are, they're not tuning out anyway.
Right. So a lot of good stuff. I think the big dip that I saw was our 4 episodes of Adepticon that we did when we got back from Adepticon. Probably a little bit too much Adepticon content in a month after Adepticon.
We will try to keep that more concise next time.
Yeah. But our for goals for the podcast, I want to say like we're probably on line with everything that we were hoping for as a podcast.
Okay, I have a random observation about YouTube. I tried looking up individual episodes of ours without going into subscriptions to find the channel itself, and I couldn't get anything to pop up.
Yeah, I find it's easier if I'm looking for something to search for the channel name. I found if I'm not logged in, I can usually find us after Heresy ACC, which is good because before it was typing in the whole name.
I do know we got our web store open. That's going to be a year-round thing now for our shirts and all that stuff. So that's kind of neat. I know before we only ran it for basically a third of the year. So that's something.
Mm-hmm. So does that take us on to goals for 26 or what we want to see in 26? All of the above in 26?
Sure. Individual first and then cast as a whole.
Sure, go ahead.
Minus
Duncan.
Jamie, who's not here.
Yeah.
God damn it,
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah. This is what you get for the patron.
Okay. As a personal one, my plan for 26 is to finish this entire Night Lord's army. Then, once I'm done with this 3K point part of it, add on to it Savitar and the Night Haunter, and be able to enter the Night Haunter into Golden Demon in Adepticon 27. That's my plan. I'm stating it now. And then I'm going to, maybe if I'm really lucky, eventually get a chance to start working on my Warhound. Because I have no plans to do any other armies in 2026 at this point. I'm leaving myself open to possibly changing that if the patron does its thing. And yeah, if that happens, sure. I will do that army that I'm not going to talk about. But as of right this moment, I'm not committing to doing any other armies yet.
He is committing to
You guys heard it here first. Duncan is going to do a Joy Toy scale Ultramarines army.
Oh, that hurts so much. Oh, I think that. Oh, no, never. I refuse. Brian, what are you going to do for 2026? What's your hobby resolutions?
Death Guard. And small Alpha Legion.
Death Guard what?
Yes.
Just Death Guard, bro.
Yeah, this Death Guard.
Okay.
What do I want to see? Horus Heresy 4th edition. Make demons but great again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, forget the 3-year release cycle. Let's go yearly.
Oh,
We'll do it live.
y'all are giving me bad pains in my shoulder. I don't know why.
Y'all trying to make me
Attack
retired.
Divers
That's what y'all trying to
related.
do.
Who's next? Jack, your personal goals?
My
Next.
personal goal, like, there's something in the background that I want to do, but I don't want to speak because I don't want to give myself pressure on stuff. Just because of how life is. What I will commit to is continuing to work on the Ultramarines. Like, I have a lot of stuff that is literally probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hobby nights away of being done. I just haven't converted. It's the finishing touches. I'm at the last 10%, which takes the 90% of the time. Continue to work on Ultramarines. Continue to procure items in an entertaining manner. If y'all figure out what that means. Yeah, I seem to do a better job finishing the bigger items than I do the smaller items. So maybe continue to work on that. What about you, John?
So personally, I finally acquired the last. I say the last. All of the Sentinels that I need to make the all Sentinels list for Adepticon, including the turret replacements for the 12 Sentinels that I converted before to be Volkites when I had to take multiple different types of Sentinels. So that's going to be my first goal, is to get all of those Sentinels done for Adepticon. That in and of itself is a lot. It's let me do some quick math here. 36 Sentinels to paint by Adepticon. That's just the basic Sentinels, and I've got the other 12 heavy Sentinels that I need to paint, so 48 total Sentinels. And a new command squad that has to go with them because some of the war gear options I had before are gone. So should try to get that finished for Adepticon is the main goal. Obviously, I have the tables that I need to finish up for Texas Open and Adepticon. So it's going to be probably 2.5 more tables worth of stuff than what I've already gotten done over the past few days. And that's all going to be finished by March. We've got the secret plans that we talked about in the Patreon episode kind of thing that I'm doing. I'd like to finish the Ultramarines that I've gotten to kind of the halfway point. And then the other really big thing I'd like to do this year is I'd really like to do this ZM terrain and Necromunda terrain that's been taking over my house. I've got a crap ton of money spent into the ZM terrain already. I've probably got close to 60 tiles or more.
That's a lot of tiles.
In my garage, on top of all the columns and things like that. And Jamie's been printing me parts to go with that, and then I'll probably get Jeremy or Andrew to help out with some of that printing to add on to some of the more specialized pieces from Mordian and things like that. I bought those 2 huge cannons that are going to go onto those, as well as some other plans I've had for trains and other weird stuff that's going to be built into the tables. So that's really
Go ahead. I'm half surprised John has not redone his bathroom with ZM tiles tiling.
Ooh, that'd be kind of painful on the feet, buddy.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because that would be painful. It's like stepping on Legos, but all over. I don't think it'd support my weight. That's not a thing. They're kind of flimsy when you start putting pressure on them in places. But yeah, that's my main weird goal is for this year. I know a couple years ago I said double the Ultramarines, but I mean, if I finish what I've got half started already, or a little over half started already, I've got them all decaled, I've got them all sealed. So it's just the chipping and then on to spot colors, and they're basically done. So kind of like Jack said, it's a couple hobby nights for each layer of Marines, I guess, if you want to talk about them in that size wise, as far as the way I've got them stored right now. Including all the tanks are up to the same rate, so it's just kind of finishing those off.
Yeah.
But
it's that last 10%.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the hard part done, which is the base coating and the decaling. It's just all the spot colors and the little bit of weathering I do. But yeah, I've really wanted to start these ZM tiles because not only for ZM, but my buddies have been talking a lot about Necromunda and wanting to get more into that because we've all got gangs. It's a good way to get a few of our other friends that are kind of hobby curious to get them into the system and kind of get the ball rolling. As one of his nephews, I bought him a bunch of Necromunda stuff for Christmas. And then his brother-in-law is really interested in Necromunda. That's just a way to play. So yeah, that's my main goal, is to get those tables started and finished off. I've got 2 tiles that I bought from somebody that are already kind of built and ready to go. And then I've got the 6 or 8 that I did for the Adepticon photo shoot booth, and then the 2 that are for the photo shoot booth for Texas Open. So I've nearly got a playable table already. So that'll bring me to 8 or 9 tiles. So all I gotta do is 8 more and I'll have a full 4x4 table. So it's not entirely out of the realm that I could just be at that mark by the end of the year, but I'd like to get a lot more than that done. They paint up really fast with the method I've found online, where you prime them all silver and then go in and airbrush in the tile area or in the column areas, and then kind of seal it and then heavily oil wash it all and wipe it down. I was able to finish all the ones for Adepticon in less than a couple days. So yeah, it won't be that bad to get it all rolling once it starts assembling.
It's definitely better than Kimmel's method when he painted his. He said he put like 100 hours into his 4x4 table.
Yeah, it'll add a lot more time when the spot colors and things like that start coming down, which is also why I've been priming a lot of these little pieces, the Promethium tanks and the propane tanks and ammo crates and things like that. I've been painting all those because they'll be really good for adding pops of color into a ZM table, and Necromunda table is an easy way to get colors in there without having to do a bunch more work, just by doing separate pieces. And that way I can glue them on once it's already painted, and it's like removing a step.
Okay.
Does that take us to what we like to see?
I think so.
All right, Duncan, what would you like to see?
I'm going to pass it to Brian for a minute while I'm still collating my thoughts.
I want to see Horus Heresy 5th edition make flyers great again.
Oh, Lord, Brian, you're going to give me a heart attack.
I try. Or I'm trying. I can't remember what my mom always used to say.
I think it's yes. Just yes, you are.
Pretty sure your mama said you were special.
That too.
In reality, I think one of the things I'd like to see that we've already really seen is a lot of the Legions Imperialis releases in a 30K scale. I'd like to see those other Arachne turrets coming out. I'd like to see the Glaive and the Super Flamer and Cerberus tanks come out in 30K scale.
Oh,
Double
you know what?
Punisher Arachnus.
Yes.
The Mechanicum walkers for Imperialis that have never before been seen in 28mm. The Mars attacks and things.
Screw those. How about just the the Mechanicus model that's never had a model? The not the Domitar, but the jump pack close combat one. It's never officially had a 28mm model. It's only had the Legions Imperialis model, and only this year. It's had rules for 3 editions.
I would like to
Trying
see
to
a
remember.
Thunderbolt. I'd like to see a Thunderbolt in plastic.
Unrealistic request.
Yep, it's absolutely unrealistic.
I'd like a Malkador. Or not a Malkador, a Mastodon in plastic.
Ooh, that would be nice. If they did that, I would acquire a Mastodon finally.
Because it would
It'd make my buddy so sad.
It would make Jack sad, which is why I think it'll happen.
I would like to see the release of Dark Mechanicum. Period. As a faction.
Better Dark Mechanicum, you mean?
I
Not
would like
just Mechanicum with a couple extra units?
Yes, I would like to see a full-on release for Dark Mech as an army. Enslaved tech thralls, enslaved this, corrupted that, all of it. New ideas, new sculpts. I think it would be a really cool way to really juice up the fact that this is an entire civil war and that they were a complete faction in and of themselves. I think that would be an awesome way to do it. And I think that would be an amazing way to do some new releases of stuff that would really allow them, sculptor-wise, to push the boundaries.
You also see R-rated Mechanicum.
Sure. I'd also like to see the Demons Codex go full release. Also getting pushed as a full range. Even if they incorporate the 40K stuff, I'd like them to see the 30K versions of it full release. Boxes, in stores, plastic, etc.
I think that would be one.
Really awesome.
Sorry.
That's literally about it.
I think the demons would be. I think I've said this before. Is the one of the few things that makes totally sense for them just to port over all the 40K models and give them rules.
I agree.
And
they do that, I'm fine with it.
And just keep it simple.
I think a militia book would be good. A real militia book. I don't know what they could expand on it. Maybe adding in some of the other stuff that's come out in 40K. I don't want to see the Dorn tank and some of the other weird shit, but I think, an official release would be good for getting more people in. I don't know.
You know the problem with the Dorn tank?
Ugly as sin.
It's very susceptible to mines. It's got severe lacking of armor on its undercarriage.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think you have to have a seatbelt on to be able to sit in the driver's seat and drive it without falling out the bottom.
Yeah, my uncle had a car like that.
Yabba dabba doo.
I'd also like to see more of the Scouring novels released. I think that series has a lot of promise, and I'd like to see it going forward where it goes to. I think it'd be awesome. Is that all we are looking for other than Jack?
I would personally like to see something that makes me want to build and paint something exciting. I don't know what that is, but I want something that makes me want to get back into the hobby with both feet and not more of the same old.
I have one more idea.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure I've asked for this for 3 years in a row. And I'm going to keep it up. More Legion specific Praetors. Please, can the World Eaters have Praetor model? Please,
Dude, Duncan, Praetors don't grow on trees. All right, they're not like Primaris lieutenants.
We were promised Leviathans and Praetors for every faction, and we only got the Ultramarines Praetors. As much as I've crapped on the Leviathan already this episode, I would still buy an Ultramarines Leviathan.
That's why I went to a third-party company and bought a Ultramarines Leviathan.
Yep. I need to do that.
Thank you, Jack. I mean, I know that there's generic Praetors for most of the legions at this point, but there's still, like the World Eaters don't have one. I don't think the Raven Guard have one.
I'm going to go ahead and say the Death Guard don't have one, even though they do.
They do.
Sure. They do.
It's terrible.
I'm pretty sure the Alpha Legion don't have one.
They do.
They do.
Oh, yeah, they do. You're right.
It's a guy drawing a sword.
I had to think about that. How about the Iron Warriors? They don't have one. How about...
They do. They have their warsmith.
Okay, yeah, that'll count. How about the... nope, the Iron Hands have one. Did the Salamanders have a generic?
No, neither did the Raven Guard.
Yep.
It's okay. Nobody cares about Raven Guard.
Well, the Dark Angels have one. They have two. I know the Emperor's Children don't. Am I wrong?
No, they don't.
No, they don't. So yeah, them. Yeah, just for the unreleased Praetors, for the legions that don't have unique, no-name characters. Give us those.
Emperor Children has a Praetor and a armor, and then a Praetor and Tartarus.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going through here and fact-checking us as we go.
Thank you, Jack. I'm glad I have you to rely on to fix my stupidity. Yeah.
You probably didn't realize that you were looking at an Emperor's Children Praetor model because there was lack of tentacles.
Probably. But that's what I want. I want the World Leaders one, please. Please? Please? But yeah, that's about it for me. Have we addressed everything we all individually want? And if so, do we want to address what we want as a cast?
Sure. I mean, bold statement here, but come on, guys. Seriously, give me Siege of Terra, Plague Marine Death Guard. Come on. What's the holdup?
I think the issue is that the way that GW is splitting the lines, trying to make sure that Heresy has its own SKUs and everything is, I think, what's really hurting some of the late war releases as well as demon releases. I think that they're having trouble trying to come to grips with what would be an entirely new army specific to one game, whereas everyone that wants to play it already has previously released demons. That would be
I just want the rules.
Yep.
What was your question, Duncan?
What do we want from the future of the podcast?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and start off with a generic one. I want to see episode 200. Oh, wait. We won't hit that next year. We'll hit that in 27.
Yep. I'd like us to keep going. That's a good one.
Yep, same.
World domination.
That's fair.
Before 200 would be good.
Maybe some consideration from GW like they give to other places. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that I wouldn't sign it
GW. I don't want the eye of GW on us. Because that could be good or bad. You never know. But I don't know. I'm talking to my ass. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, even if GW starts sending us stuff, we're never going to shill for them. We'll be honest either way. If we get books early, we'll tell you if they suck. We'll tell you if they're good. But it would be nice to be able to have some of the stuff a little earlier so that we're not just trying to read the things as you're reading them, so that we could kind of formulate opinions on them and maybe even test them a little bit or go through and understand them a little bit better.
It would be nice.
And that's why we'll never get it, because we won't shill for them.
Yep.
That does kind of make some sense, unfortunately. Jack, your thoughts?
I'd just like to see the podcast continue to grow. That's all I care about. Continue to grow both on YouTube and audio. I know I keep pushing to YouTube, but if we get to certain points and hit certain metrics on YouTube, then the podcast starts paying for itself just that little bit more. Not trying to put money in our pockets.
Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing we've we've kind of stayed true to this whole time is we aren't monetizing stuff to earn money for ourselves. Every single penny we make on this stuff goes right back into it, along with more money out of our own pockets. So
Yeah, there's a couple podcasts or a couple things I listen to on YouTube where it's like, join our Patreon to get our episodes 6 months early. I'm like, no.
What?
Yep.
no.
Join our
No.
Patreon so you can watch Duncan agonize over Ultramarines. Enjoy Toy Scale.
Okay, so let's address that.
Yeah, our
'cause
our patrons come with pain. That's why you should join our Patreon, to make others suffer, specifically Duncan. But after that, we'll work on other people too.
Because
So,
fuck
okay,
Duncan.
Okay, so let me address this. For anyone who's heard us talking about this and doesn't quite get the joke, it started off as a joke, but apparently everyone's turned it into a real thing. If I do have to do an Ultramarines army, yes, I will paint it. Yes, I will take it to Adepticon and play it. And then I will immediately take it that the entire army that I will have paid for, not the patrons paying for, not anyone out there donating stuff to, I will have paid for it myself. I'll have painted it myself, and I'll play it myself. And then I will take all the proceeds, or take that army, and I will auction it somehow, or raffle it. And every bit of that money that is earned from that will go to charity. Probably a charity of the patron's choice, because the patrons are the ones who will have inflicted this on me. So, yeah.
It'll probably be for mental health, something.
Yeah, something for that, for y'all torturing me like you all are. And then maybe we'll make Jack do an army in all his copious amounts of free time.
Look. After we get you, if I want to be the sacrificial lamb, and y'all, I don't know what you all would make me do that I would hate.
He's down for whatever, man.
I
already know what Jack would do. He would make me have to do another Ultramarines army. That's what he would make me do.
See, I'm not nearly as fun because I'm just DTP down to play.
DTP down to paint.
like my issue is I have all these different paint schemes up in my head. I just don't have a reason to do them.
I think that
if you were gonna torture me, you'd have to make me do like a Raven Guard army. I think maybe just a Raven Guard army, because I don't know what it is about that Legion. They just don't do anything for me.
See, Jack wants to do Raven Guard. He's already had ideas on that. He and I have had discussions on that at length.
Mm-hmm. I still have. I got the paints for them.
Yeah, y'all can threaten me with a Word Bearer's army, but I had one and converted the few models that I'd had to Ultramarines.
No, John. I know what I would make you do.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe Solar Hawks.
Yep. I would agree there. He would have to do a G.I. Joe Solar Ox. And they would have to be personalized to include as many G.I. Joe characters as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we need Snake Eyes.
That's what I need is to build a third Horde army. That's it.
See, there we go. Understanding one another.
John, you're one of the few people with the hobby output that can actually do a Horde army.
That's true.
He's not wrong.
It is the truth.
If I could set a New Year's resolution to be a quarter of the hobbyist that John is, I would have so much stuff done.
No shit.
It helps working from home and living alone.
You're not alone. You got Meatball.
Yeah, he just came in too.
Well,
heard you in advance, buddy.
Have we covered pretty much everything we're going to cover for the final episode of 25?
I think so. I can't think of anything.
Jeff,
we have. Go ahead.
I was going to say, go ahead.
We talked about what we were supposed to do, the trials and tribulations of this year, what we want to see next year, both personally and in the podcast. I think the only thing, like we haven't really. I think last year we did a big call out for what specifically what we wanted to see from GW. I did the classic plastic Thunderhawk. See that? I know John said a plastic. Oh God, what the fuck is that? Fucking
Mastodon.
Mastodon.
I've said it for the last 2 years too.
Fucking asshole.
Because you keep working on it, Jack. That's why I want it.
Look, it's fucking done. I'm not working on it. It's fucking done as it's gonna ever be.
Yay!
I swear to God, if they make I will say it right now, if they make a plastic Mastodon, I will buy it. So long as it's not over $400.
A plastic Imperator Titan that comes with a car seat to transport it.
I think you need a trailer for that.
I think you need a monster truck. Maybe a plastic Warhound.
It's totally doable.
It would be.
They have kits that are comparable in size.
I mean, it's not that much bigger than a Knight.
Well, it's roughly the same size as a fucking Orc Stompa that came out years ago. Like,
yeah, but that's mainly hollow. That's why it worked.
Yeah. So many possibilities of things that will never happen. John, why don't you go ahead and call out any events you know of, and we'll just call it a night and a year.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us on this, the 53rd episode of the Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. We'd like to thank all of our great listeners and even better patrons for joining us on this adventure that has been 2025. Upcoming events, obviously my own Texas Open on the 16th, 17th, and 18th of January. Future events coming up with wherever we end up meeting them in Texas. Brian, Duncan, y'all got any upcoming events?
January 17th, Far Harbor Gaming in the Grand Rapids area of the great state of Michigan. There is a link on the Discord, or if people have questions, they can just Discord message me. 5,000 point game. There's loosened restrictions for Lord of Wars. Should be a good time. Don't forget Adepticon, y'all.
Absolutely. Regarding the Kentucky 30K group, there is a meetup on the 17th in Lexington, Kentucky at the Rusty Scabbard, which is the friendly local that Jack and I both go to. It is a 3K event. Not sure how many tables or how many people are going, but it's there. There will be a ZM table there as well. Beyond that, Adepticon. We are working on... it's a good question. I don't have that answer.
Because that's the next big step right there is tickets going on sale because we already have the cart.
Yep.
It's it's early January, if I remember correctly.
Get art reveal.
Yeah, the art's been revealed. We are sponsoring and holding some of our events at Adepticon.
Cart will go live January the 11th. So roughly, what is that, 20 days from now? Roughly?
About that.
Yeah.
Yep. About that, yeah. We are hosting and running events. Jack and myself are on... Both of us are running events on Thursday. I'm running an event on Sunday. We'll be participating in other events throughout the entire Adepticon time, and we'll be there as a cast, as a whole.
I'll be running support staff in all likelihood.
Come see us, hang out, get stuff from us, hang out with us.
Yeah, now's a great time to jump in and harass Duncan about how he's going to do his Ultramarines at Adepticon. Like that would be fantastic. Even better if we can make it to that, we can make him bring paints and models and watch him paint Ultramarines at Adepticon. There's a goal right there.
Nah. Yep. Anyway, carrying on. Thank you all for coming along with us on this journey that was 2025. We look forward to you coming along with us on the journey for 2026 and beyond.
Yep.
Bonus
We are
points
off
for
this-
anybody that brings Duncan a Joy Toy Ultramarines action figure at Adepticon.
Oh my god.
He needs it for his new army.
We are off December the 28th. This will be our last recording for 2025. We will be back on January the 4th.
We'll be back January the 4th.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, I thought you said January the 5th.
Nope.
No, 4th.
I thought he said 24th.
Oh, well.
We'll be back at the beginning of January.
the first Sunday of January. So
Yes.
you'll expect to hear it the first Monday of January.
Yes.
Unless
John, you
you're,
want to close
unless
that?
you're a patron.
Yeah,
and
I
you
guess
listen live.
the only thing left to say is always remember to stay accountable to yourselves, to your buddies, and your hobby in that order. And we'll talk to you next year.
Be positive.
Be
Deal.
aggressive. Be aggressive. See you next year.
Like and subscribe and see ya.